Homeowners and Windstorm Insurance. What you need to know. Coming up. Hey everyone, Andrew here with the Lake Team in Houston, Texas. Welcome back to another video that we have for you today. Today's topic, we're going to be covering over windstorm and regular homeowners insurance policies. But if you're watching this on YouTube and you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. Each and every week, the Lake Team here produces or tries to produce the best content for you when it comes to real estate each and every week. So with that being said, let's go ahead and move straight into today's topic, which is windstorm and homeowners insurance policies. Okay, so what counties in Houston area require windstorm? So it's a good question. So windstorm is basically required in any coastal counties. Coastal counties in our area in particular would be Brazoria County and Galveston County. Two pretty big counties in our area, and at that point you will be required to have a windstorm policy, and that's protect you and your lender. And that, you know, if a hurricane comes in, blows your house apart, your roof off, or whatever, any kind of hurricane damage or wind damage, hail damage, you'll be covered at that point. As from a lender standpoint, or from your standpoint, if you are financing your property, you will be required, if you do live in the coastal counties, you are going to be required to have windstorm. A lot of questions that we get pretty often is like, should I go with a big box retailer or should I go with some local companies? And I'll just tell you from my personal experience, this may not be for everybody, or it may not be, in actual truth, but for everybody. But for my sake, for my personal experience, going with a big box company was typically more expensive. And at that time, we were living in the coastal counties, the big box companies just weren't writing windstorm policies. So we had to go with what was called Texas Windstorm Insurance Association, which is TWIA. And TWIA is a separate policy altogether from your homeowner's insurance policy. At the end of the day, both of those two added up has a pretty hefty premium on there. And then we found out when we started talking to some local insurance guys that I know from being in real estate from when we first started out, like, hey, it was a much cheaper option, in my opinion, to go with some local companies here in the Houston area that will write policies all in one. By local companies, I mean, not your big box retailers, basically. So some of the companies that you never heard of. Maybe there's the Joe down the street who has been an insurance agent for 25 years with his own insurance company. So those are some of the people that you might want to look for. They've been in business for a long time for a reason. From my personal experiences, it was just a cheaper option to go with the local company that can write homeowners and windstorm insurance policies all in one, and completely removing TWIA out of the equation. So do you have to purchase insurance? I just said that a little bit ago. Yes, you do. If you are financing the property and you still have a loan on the property, you absolutely 100% have to have your insurance. Now, if you're not in a coastal county, say you're in Harris County, for example, you're not going to be required to have windstorm, but it may be better to actually, like I said, if you're going with a local insurance agent, it may be beneficial to go ahead and write up the policy all in one anyways. It might be cheaper because you're not in a coastal county. You're in Harris County at that point. Talk with your insurance agent to see what options are better for you. All right, so flood insurance is a big one here in Houston area. It seems like all of Houston is a flood zone nowadays, especially since after Harvey. There are some areas that are more prone to flooding than others, and so depending on what area or whereabout in Houston that you're trying to purchase a property in, just understand what kind of risks are associated with that particular property. Has it flooded in the past? Has it not flooded in the past, but it's in a flood zone? I mean, these are some kind of risk factors that you need to consider before moving forward with it. That's all in the research phase before you actually make the offer on the property. But so if you're in a flood zone, you're going to be required anyways by the lender. If you are financing, again, yeah, you are going to be required to have flood insurance by the lender anyways if you are financing the property. If you're not financing the property, you're not going to be required to have flood insurance, that you paid cash for it outright. Hey, if you're going to pay cash for that, it's best to protect your investment anyways and go ahead and get flood insurance. And if you're not in the flood zone, I think the going rate's like $575 or $600 or something right now for a flood insurance policy if you're not in a flood zone. Now, if you are in a flood zone, things get a little bit trickier. You're going to be required to have an elevation certificate. Any survey company can provide this to you at additional cost, obviously. But whenever you are purchasing a property, you're going to have a survey. And if it's in a flood zone, you might as well go ahead and get the elevation certificate too, because that's going to make a big factor on how much your payments are going to be for your insurance. The cost of insurance premiums for when it comes to windstorm, flood, and just regular homeowners insurance policies varies on property to property. Like I said, it depends on the location, it depends on the age, the condition of the property, how old the roof is, things of that nature. If in your flood zone, it's going to, your elevation, how high you are above sea level or below sea level, your elevation elevation is going to make a big difference, which is the reason why most insurance agencies are going to require, or they want that elevation certificate so they can give you an accurate quote. But yeah, that's an elevation cert is also another thing that's definitely going to take into consideration for your monthly payments and how much your premiums cost. Okay, so we've kind of done some research for you guys. If you need any references here in the Houston area or my personal agent's phone number when it comes to insurance, I'll be happy to provide some references to you guys. We've done the shopping for you. I'm not going to suggest don't go shopping, but if you guys want some of the guys that we use, that we recommend to our clients every time we're in the middle of purchasing a property and they need insurance, or they're not working with an insurance agent, we always recommend the best that we can. And I would never recommend somebody that I don't personally use, or I would not use. I can give you my personal agent's phone number and a couple other references if you guys want. Yeah, so just let me know which direction you guys want to go. If you are interested, please reach out to me and I'll be happy to give you that information. All right, well, that's pretty much going to wrap it up for today's video. I hope you enjoyed this topic about windstorm and regular homeowners insurance policies and flood policies and things of that nature. I hope it was able to educate you a little bit about some of the processes and how insurance agents look at things to help get you an accurate quote. If you have any additional questions or if I missed anything, please feel free to let me know. Reach out to me. All my information will be posted down below. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can go to my website directly. I'll have a link there. But we try to educate you guys as best as we possibly can so you can make the best decision that you can. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below and you'll be the first notified of every video that we release each and every week. That's pretty much going to wrap it up for today. I'm Andrew with the Lake Team here in Houston, Texas, and I'll see you next week.